This is really fun and different edge work you can do, adding these kind of cords to the work. On this video, I'm going to teach you how to do the undulating fringe edging. I'm going to be using a 4mm hook and some acrylic yarn size 4. All right, so for this design, you're going to need to work with a multiple of 3 plus 1. In my case, I've made a chain of 22 to show you. However, whatever it is you're working, you just want to make sure that when you begin, your foundation chain or your entirety of the project is a multiple of 3 plus 1. So now with my foundation chain of 22, I'm going to start row 1. We're going to skip the first 2 chains, which counts as a half double crochet. And then into the next chain, you want to do 1 half double crochet. So skip 2 into the next, 1 half double crochet. And now we want to do 1 half double crochet into each chain all the way down. So you just insert your hook into each of the chains and work a half double crochet. I'll see you when I'm done this row. Okay, I just did the half double crochets into each one of the chains all the way down. And this here is the end of row 1. Now for row 2, we're going to start by chaining 4, which counts as a treble crochet. And now we're going to flip our work. We are going to skip the first stitch. So this first stitch here, we're not going to do anything into it. We're going to go, let me see here, 2, 4, into the next one with a treble crochet. So you yarn over twice, go into the second stitch and do a treble crochet. Now we're going to do this all the way down. So do a treble crochet into each one of the stitches of the row, and I'll see you when you're at the end. Okay, I'm almost at the end here, and I just want to show you that we don't want to forget that we have a chain 2 that counted as a half double crochet from earlier. So that's a stitch. So right now I have 1 half double crochet left, into which I'll do a treble crochet. And then we have the turning chain. So you want to yarn over twice, go into that top of the chain, and do your final treble crochet of the row. And so this here is the end of row 2. Now for row 3, we're going to chain 2 and flip our work. We are going to skip the first stitch and into the next one do a half double crochet. And for this row, you want to do half double crochets all the way down. So 1 half double crochet into each one of the stitches, and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, I just did a half double crochet into each stitch all the way down. And now we're going to do our final row, row 4. So for that, we're going to start with a chain 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got my chain 16 here. And now we're going to do slip stitches, but in the back of the chain. So let me show you your chain. You know, you're seeing it like this from the front. If you flip it over, there's a little bump in the back. It's kind of easier to see on its side, but it's a bump that goes in the middle all the way down. So into those bumps, you're going to be doing a slip stitch. So we are going to skip the first chain into the next one in the back loop or the back bump of the chain. You do a slip stitch. And you're going to repeat this all the way down. Going in the back bump of the chain, we're doing our slip stitches, and this is going to give us like a thicker cord at the end. So that is my back bump there. Slip stitch, back bump there, slip stitch. I'm going to do this off camera all the way to the body of the work, and I'll see you when we're done. Okay, I've created my first one here. I do want to show you though that we shouldn't skip the last chain, like we shouldn't miss it. This is the first chain that I made, and therefore I got to make sure I go in the back bump of that. It's a little harder to see, so you got to make sure you do that very last one as well. And now you've got your full fringe here, or not fringe, fringe, the like little rope looking. Now we are going to do a slip stitch into the next half double crochet. So essentially we're flipping our work like this, and we go into the next half double crochet, which is the second stitch of the row, and then do a slip stitch. Now from here, we are going to chain 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And we're going to do the same. We're going to flip this over, skip the next chain, and into the second one in the back bump of the chain, do a slip stitch. And then do a slip stitch into each one of the back bumps of the chain all the way down. So do that and I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, I'm almost done here, and I want to show you again that that last chain is important not to be missed. It's kind of connected to the work, but you can see it perfectly from the front here. So I'm going to go in the back loop of that one and do my last slip stitch. And I've got my second fringe here. Now you can go ahead and do a slip stitch to the next half double crochet of the previous row. Just a slip stitch there. And now we are going to chain 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we do the same thing, flip it over, skip the first chain into the second one, into the back bump, do a slip stitch all the way down. I'll see you when we're at the body again. Okay, I just did the very last one into the last chain. And now we just want to do a slip stitch to the next half double crochet of the previous row. And now you've got that repetition of fringes from like tallest to shortest. And this is what we want to do all the way down. Essentially, we're going to be doing, starting back at the chain 12 and then doing the slip stitches back, slip stitch to the next stitch, chain, or sorry, the first one was 16, my mistake. The first one's chain 16, then slip stitches all the way down, and then a slip stitch to the next stitch, chain 12, slip stitches all the way down, then slip stitch to the next stitch, then chain 8, slip stitches back to create these fringes here. And those slip stitches, we got to remember, go in the back bump of the chain. So you can, if you want this to look uniform, you can, do the chain 16, 12, and 8 kind of in the same order, but you can also play around with it. I don't know, if you wanted right now another small one, you could do a chain 8. You can kind of play around with the size that you want. For my design, I'm going to keep it uniform. So I'm going to do 16, 12, 8, 16, 12, 8, 16, 12, 8 all the way down. Then cut off my yarn and thread my ends through. Okay, this one's absolutely crazy. So fun. Kind of looks like little octopus legs. Super cool, easy to make. As I mentioned, you can kind of play around with the design. I personally went for the uniform, I guess, repetition of like long, medium, short all the way across, but I don't even think you can tell. But anyway, that's the actual pattern for it. You can play around with the lengths. You could even make them longer or shorter than I taught you because it's quite intuitive. It adds this really fun edge to your work. Hey, while you're at it, why don't you just subscribe to my channel? Just do it. Just do it.